Hello and welcome back to the Shedding Skin podcast. I am your host, Jade Willow. I had the absolute pleasure of interviewing Joseph Cassell of Black Plague, a melodic core band from Virginia. I had so much fun talking to him. He was just such a nice guy. He was just so fucking funny. And he was really brutally honest about his struggles with alcoholism, anxiety, and OCD. So thank you so much, Joseph, for sharing your story with all of us. I know it's going to help some people in the long run who are going to be watching this and feeling like they don't have anyone that they can relate to, including myself. So thank you. We also talked about some random stuff like ghost stories and aliens and just some funny band stories. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your guys' support. I do have to apologize for the audio quality and I guess the visual quality as well on my end. I'm still trying to figure out the kinks with editing and using proper equipment. I think I'm going to just invest in a different mic because mine is causing clicking noises for some reason. So bear with me. I really appreciate your patience. You know, when I started this out, I did it with the intention of raising mental health awareness. And I feel like I've done that pretty successfully so far, thanks to my wonderful guests. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. And yeah, stay tuned. Remember, we need not suffer in silence. Keep it metal.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. All right. So, hey, how do I pronounce your last name?
Cassell.
Okay. Joseph
Yep.
Cassell. How are you?
Yeah. It gets butchered more than you'll know. Yeah. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Not too bad. I've been looking forward to this all day. I've been trying to mentally prep on like how to ask better questions and be more just engaging. I feel like, you know, this is all really new to me too. So it's also a learning experience on my part.
Yeah, I've always been just terrible with interviews. I'm like so that's why I play guitar, so I don't have to be like front and center. I don't have to talk to anybody, and it's like when you like hear your voice recording played back to you, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely something that I've had to get used to. I think I like I'm cool with my singing voice, but as far as my speaking tone, it's completely different. I'm totally not comfortable with it. But I guess I just have to get over it if I'm going to keep doing this. So
yeah, so like I said, that's why I play guitar. So I'll just get on stage, I'll throw down, I'll run around, I get real hype, super energetic. But then like during interviews, I'm just the kind of the guy that like just gets behind everybody in the band. I'm just like, y'all take it, y'all have fun with it, roll with it.
I imagine your singer is probably the one that takes the lead and answers most of the questions.
Yeah, I mean, in most cases, I'd hope so, so that the questions don't come to me.
That's funny. What about your drummer? Drummers are usually the ones that are like hiding in the background.
So the last drummer we had, he was kind of like forefront too, right? But like the guys we have now, they're just every one of them is like go go go, like they've been in the circuit for a bit, so they know how to like do like the business of the band. They know how to make the show look good. They know how to talk like during interviews and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still just like, when it comes to like that, I'm still just like, you guys take the lead on this. So
Is it just because you're generally like a shy person or you're more of an introvert?
no, absolutely not. No, I'm like balls to the wall. And I don't know what it is too. So that's like the weird thing about it, right? It's just like when it comes to like interviews or somebody's doing like a podcast, or if there's something being streamed, I lock up. It's just the weirdest thing. I don't know. But if it's like a live show, I'm just like just all over the place. It's weird.
That is kind of weird, especially because I mean, I imagine you've been recorded, you know, for music videos or the live performances, and maybe it's just because it's more of an intimate one-on-one thing versus like when you're in front of a crowd. I feel like you have a little bit more. Oddly enough, it's a little bit more comfortable because it's not so interpersonal. You know what I mean?
I think my thing is I'm afraid that my mind is going to go blank, and I'll just sit there like Ricky Bobby and just put my hands up.
Who was it? I think it was what's his name? Will Ferrell. In one of his movies, he was like, I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
what to
it.
do.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby.
Oh,
yeah.
It was Ricky Bobby? Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that was Will Ferrell.
Talladega Nights. No,
Okay.
That's who it is. Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just
good.
like
Okay, yeah. I've totally used that before on several occasions. So were you born in Virginia? Have you been living there all your life?
Yeah, so I was born in Roanoke, and Roanoke's not really like a big city, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, the people who live here probably think so, but it's only like 100,000 people in
Okay.
Roanoke. Lived here until I was about 19, and then moved to literally the middle of nowhere with my dad. And then I think like a couple of years later, and it's funny because I was dating a girl who lived in the middle of nowhere, and then my dad's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, we're moving here," and I'm like, "Oh, sweet, she lives out there." And I think within like 2 weeks of moving out there, she dumped me,
Oh,
and
shit.
then I started dating a girl back in the city I came from, and I was like, "Well, I'm going back to Roanoke," and probably about a month after I moved back, I got dumped too. So
Jeez.
yeah,
I'm so sorry. Just
so I
not good
mean,
luck on that end, huh?
well, I was like 19, 20. So I mean, it happens all the time.
It
So
does. It does.
yeah,
Most relationships don't tend to work out, unfortunately. I think most people nowadays don't really, I don't know, are in for the long haul. Nobody really has old traditional values like they used to. It's just kind of like when you have something like Tinder and you have Facebook
yeah,
that you can message 1,000 girls each day, I
yeah.
imagine,
Social media, the internet, just anything that it gives you access to not be like personable with somebody. I think like that's how dating goes nowadays, isn't it? Right?
Mhm.
I mean, people are just like if you bother them so much, or if they bother you, you could just literally never see this person again with like the touch of your finger. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
very
So
true. I'm not a big fan of that personally.
no, I'm old school when it comes to stuff like that.
How old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I am 33,
Oh,
actually.
okay. We're like the same age. I'm 32.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I just
awesome.
turned 32. I feel old.
Uh, so so I feel like I'm 25, I think, but it's because like
Okay.
my energy, and I'm just like I'm go go go. Like I don't smoke, right? I just quit drinking, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can
I
you
just
can you
I eat
mention
like
that?
shit, right? But I feel really good. And I think I owe it to like playing shows, right?
Okay.
So I mean, this year has a bit of a dry spell on all that, right?
Well, yeah, obviously because of the fucking coronavirus. Did you guys
Yeah.
have to cancel a bunch of shows because of that?
No, so ironically, we had a difference of opinion with a few of our members back in. So we played a show in January,
Hmm.
and we had a few band meetings, and there was just some disagreements that we had. So our drummer and our second guitarist actually decided to part ways and do their own thing
Oh,
back in
okay.
January. And then I think we auditioned like a bunch of drummers, and they're just phenomenal drummers that we played with. We just couldn't find somebody that fit, and that helped mutually motivate each other. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
nothing against any of the ones that tried out; they are phenomenal. But it's like you when you know, you
Right.
know,
It's kind of like that missing piece of the puzzle, and you just got to vibe on the same level.
yeah. And like a couple months after that, they were just like, we're shutting the whole fucking world down. It's like the coronavirus, and we're like, perfect timing, like awesome. It's like we're going through some shit. That's great,
Dude,
and
everybody's been going through some shit. It's been fucking wild.
tons of bands, man, and that the live streaming kind of thing. I really hope that's not like the future of like of bands. You know what I mean? The future of live
Yeah.
music. They did
I'm
something in England I saw where they had like it was like a it was an actual concert, but they had like these like platforms that these people like stood on. Did you see that?
no, but I think I know what you're talking about.
It's like these little tiny platforms that fit like four people, and it's like 10 feet apart or something. I don't know. That's not the shows that I grew up going to. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is going to last forever. I mean, we've been through
no, I don't think so.
horrible plagues before, and
Yeah,
honestly, this isn't, I don't want to say this isn't that bad because it's going to sound kind of insensitive, but it definitely could be worse.
yeah, could be the
Um,
bubonic.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. We could all really be dying, not just the people who have, autoimmune disorders or
Yeah,
older people, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I think hopefully by next year they're supposed to have a vaccine or whatever, and Hopefully all
I
that
think they
people are
got one
okay.
now or something this month, maybe.
Yeah, I heard something about trials. Is it like official that it's coming out now or?
I don't know. I'm so far disconnected. Like I try not to watch the news or get involved in anything like political.
Mhm.
So, and I work with some like conspiracy theorists too. So it's like you get two different sides of the spectrum, and they don't get along, and then a lot of like what you see in the news is just BS anyway. You know.
I know it's kind of hard
So
to know what's really truth nowadays. You kind of just
yeah,
have to go through a rabbit hole of research in order to figure it out, it seems like.
yeah, that's how I feel. So I try and stay just off the news, off politics, off CNN, just all that.
Yeah, me too. I don't watch TV. I think the only reason that I'm able to keep up on current events is because of Facebook, but I haven't been on there for like a month now, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, good for you because
Well, it wasn't
Facebook
my choice.
is
I got banned
toxic.
for fucking sharing a Burzum album, okay?
Yeah, I had a friend who got banned for cursing, and they weren't even cursing at somebody; they were just cursing, and they're talking to their friends, and then they got zucked. So
Really? Fucking
yeah,
Zuck, dude. I don't know what's up with that. Everything used to be fine. It just seems like this last year he's really fucking brought down Thor's hammer for some reason.
that's because people keep sharing his smoking meats video.
Smoking meats? What's that?
You haven't seen it?
I haven't.
There's like this
Now I
whole
have to.
you really well, I don't know. You should probably just avoid it. But there's like a whole like live stream he did where like during the whole thing he said probably 25, 30 times. He's like, yeah, we're just out here smoking meats. We're just smoking the meats. We're out here smoking the meats. And it was like this huge mashup and it was hilarious. And he probably just got a little butthurt.
What does that even
So
mean? What is smoking meat?
he was smoking meat. He had like a smoker out back and he was smoking meat.
Oh, smoking, not smoking, cooking.
No, yeah, I mean he was like legit like cooking, right?
That's funny.
But
I do.
just the way he talks, the way he says that he's not from this world. It's just crazy.
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. So how long have you been playing with your band? You guys have been around since
So
2013, right?
yeah, about 7 years, something like that. This would have been the eighth year. And right now it's actually on an indefinite hiatus.
Because the two members parted ways.
So well no, so the two members parting ways was like the start of the year. And then we auditioned a bunch of drummers and I was just gonna be like, you know what, I'll write all the guitars, you know. And it took us a bit, but we decided to start looking further out, like extending our reach, and
Mhm.
started talking to musicians in like other states. And we like finally it was just by like the universe, let's just like moving everybody together. And we've got musicians now that everybody's got the same drive, like everybody's like been through it. So like I was saying, like you need like the perfect show, light, sound, you know, everything has to be perfect. And these guys are just we're all on the same page, right? So we all know where we want the band to go, what we want it to sound like, and it's really cool. And we're not sure if we're it's essentially just like a new project. You know what I mean? The sound is like completely different. It's definitely heavier, but everybody just gets along. It's great.
That's awesome.
But like it's almost like the band that we've cultivated for like these 7, 8 years is like not gone like completely. You know what I mean? But we're at a point now where we're not sure if we want to carry on that torch or just light a new one. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Like
we
just
just
start
we
a sorry, go ahead.
no like what you were saying, yeah, just start a new one or just like keep carrying the same name and it's just a totally different band. It's weird. But
Okay. So how would you describe your sound before versus what you're kind of gearing towards now?
I don't know. I wish I could. We're trying to keep all of our music a secret
For your new
right
music?
now. Huh?
Your new
Yeah,
music, you mean?
the new music. Yeah. So like our old sound was probably more like just melodic metal, maybe metalcore. I guess if
Yeah,
somebody
that's
wants
what
to
I
like
was thinking. Like
classify that as,
melodic
but
core. Hmm.
yeah, you know, it just has breakdowns. It's got. I think a few of our songs have solos in them. You go from like cleans and screams, just blending them together, and just a lot of energy on stage. And like now, it's like we're just trying to be as heavy as possible. You know what I
You,
mean?
you think you guys are gonna slow it down and become like more doomy or sludgy at all?
Mm-mm. No, we're definitely trying to groove out a lot,
Okay.
but we're not trying to get sludgy at all. Like we're trying to get it to where when like you look at somebody beside you, like maybe I'll put an elbow up there or something.
That's cool. How long have you been playing guitar?
It's probably since I was 15. So what is it? God, 18 years.
Nice.
If I had a baby when I started playing guitar, I could buy cigarettes right now. That's weird. I'm
That's
old.
funny.
That's weird to think like that.
I mean, you got started young though. That's good. I wish that I had started young. I kind of have I've been wanting to make music for like a long time and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna like buy a guitar and make my own music. But I'm like, fuck, I'm like too old for that now. So should I
No,
learn?
you're never too old. No. So like my dad, so how I learned, like my dad taught me like four chords or something. He was like,
Mm.
here's how you play House of the Rising Sun, right? And I was like, oh man, I'm a star. And then
So
and
cute.
then I was introduced to the internet. And I was like, well, there's just like so much potential out here. I suck. Like this is terrible. So it's like I used like every tool I had to learn. And there was like this, I remember there was this one app that I used to download called like Power Tab. And like people would go out and make their own tabs, the songs and stuff. And some of them are accurate, some of them are just complete shit. But like at the time I couldn't hear it. Right. So I would just learn everything. I would learn anything I can. I'd listen, I'd be like, whoa, what is this? Whoa, what is that? And I would just learn it. But I've like never learned a Metallica song, like ever. Like everybody who picks up a guitar is like, I'm gonna learn Master Puppets. It's like I'm Enter Sandman. Let's go. I was like, no, I'll just listen to it.
Were you
Like I
just
don't.
not a Metallica fan or
No, I love
well, I guess you
Metallica.
listened
Yeah.
to it. You just didn't want to like follow the trend of what everyone else was doing or
Mm, no, just their riffs didn't. They didn't intrigue me to play them. But when I listened to them, I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. I like Battery. Okay, you
Okay,
that
so it
sounds
just
good.
wasn't like your style so much for as far as playing your own music.
Uh, so like when I was like 15, right? He like taught me those four chords, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking conquer the world. And then I was like,
Oh.
time to listen to pop punk. So I was like, that's what I was like huge into when I was like 15, right? Sum 41, like Blink 182,
Oh
shit like
yeah.
that. And I eventually was like introduced to like lighter metal, heavier metal, and then it got to like some serious shit. And I was like, wow, I really do suck at guitar. Like I got to learn how to how to be a better guitarist. I remember I went like straight from listening to like Ozzy Osbourne to Necrophagist. And I was like,
Nice.
what the fuck is this? I was like, this is incredible. You
That's a
know?
huge step forward. How did that come about?
Uh I think, and to tell you the truth, I downloaded it was like this like a compilation thing, not like a CD or anything like that. But this is back when everybody was using like uTorrent. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah.
torrent
Oh,
sites?
you bet your sweet ass I remember Torrent.
So people were uploading like their own like people were like uploading like their own
Like
uh
playlists and shit.
yeah, like compilations and stuff. And I was like, okay. It's like I like fucking soil work. This is awesome. And then like halfway through it, it's fucking Advanced Corpse Tumor by Necrophagist. And I was like, what is this solo? This is so advanced. I'll never be able to play this. And I can't. Nope. Still can't play it.
I'm sure a lot of people can't play it. I mean, they're so fucking technical. I don't know how the fuck they play it.
They're
Are
so
that
good.
is that like one of your favorite genres? Is like tech death or what are some of the heavier
So
bands that you're into?
So I don't really have a favorite. Like I listen to anything, right? So classical music, I don't listen to country. So that's like one thing I will put a stop to that. Um,
Good.
so I listen to anything like pop punk. I listen to old school punk. I listen to death metal, black metal.
Ooh, what are
I don't
your
really like. I don't really get too much into prog. I'm a huge Tesseract fan. Um, Gojira, love Gojira. Favorite
Save the
guitarist.
Whales?
I saw them live. They actually Tesseract opened up that show,
Uh-huh.
and this was like I think the show. This was down in North Carolina. I think it was like a Wednesday or something. I went down there, sold out, and this was like a huge fucking venue. And I was like, "What do y'all do on Wednesday down here?" Right? I had to take work off, right? But they're they sold out, and Tesseract opened the show. And when I first saw Tesseract, I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I had heard like one of their songs on the radio, but I couldn't put a name to the song. They blew my mind live. They're incredible. But then Gojira came out, and there's just ultimate amazement just watching Gojira perform. Because you got like, you don't have like this whole orchestra, but they've got like that kind of vibe where it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen Gojira live.
I've never seen them live, but I'm sure it's a good show. I mean, they're really talented musicians.
It's a really good show.
That's cool. It took me a while to get into them. It was one of my friends. Actually, I think it was my friend from the first episode that was like, "Here, you need to hear this." And I was like, "All right, fine, I'll give it a chance." And then I kind of like From Something to Mars with the whale and the cover. That's a great album.
Like From Mars to Sirius, I think is
Yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah. And I really appreciate, even though it's extreme music, they're trying to like, raise awareness to like help save the environment and shit, because the guy believes that we are part of nature and nature is part of us. And I think that's a really awesome concept that I agree with. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So. I was introduced to him. A guy I used to work with who was listening to like infinitely heavier stuff than I was. He was like, "Oh man," I forget what band shirt I was wearing. It was like Behemoth or something. But he was like, "Oh man, if you like them, you're gonna love this." And he hands me like a Guitar Pro or a Guitar Player magazine. It was one of those Guitar World. But he hands me like this tablature that was in there. Like, you flip the page open, it was like, man, it was Toxic Garbage Island. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I'd never heard it before. And without even listening to it, I was trying to learn the tab. I ended up playing it like some hillbilly banjo. And then I actually listened to it, and I'm like, man, I'm playing this like a fourth of the speed that it needs to be played. It was god awful. But then I picked it up and I learned they're incredible musicians. They're great songwriters.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me a little bit about like your childhood. Did you have a pretty good relationship with your parents? Did you experience any bullying or anything?
Yeah,
any difficult?
No, it's pretty typical childhood. I had extreme OCD.
Okay.
So like 99% of the time, I'm like looking at the ground, and so I don't step on a crack. I had to put my foot, like every time, like in school, I'd have to put my foot exactly right in the tiles. It was god awful. But I mean, I guess it was a pretty normal childhood. My parents did get divorced probably when I was like 10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Didn't really, I mean, at the time I didn't understand it. So I don't really know if it really affected me or not. Right. I know it was a big blow because like my dad was like the reason I started watching and really getting into like horror. Because when I was like 6 years old, I came downstairs and it was like early morning. It was probably like 2 a.m, 3 a.m. And for like a 6-year-old, like just waking up at that time, you don't know what's going on, So it was like 6 or 7, something like that. And I come downstairs and he's sitting on the couch watching TV. I was like, oh, what are you watching? Whatever, what kids say or whatever. And he was like, oh, hop up here. And it was fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my God.
And it was a scene where they're like forcing that girl's finger in that old man's mouth. And I was like,
oh my God.
Like, what's this? And I was like 6 years old just watching the shit. And then like I stayed up and watched the whole thing. And then he's pretty much like, you want to watch another one on TV? Next movie come on, Hellraiser. And I was like,
nice.
All right.
Okay.
And imagine like going to school like next day, just like watching that shit. Just it was fun, man. Just hanging out with him, watching horror. And he's the reason I started playing music to begin with, right? He had tried to get me into it for like so many years, and then I was like, nah, video games. I'm just gonna play Final Fantasy VII.
Dude,
whatever.
I love Final Fantasy VII. I've been wanting to play the remake.
So, yeah, we can get into that in a little bit if you want to. We'll be here all night.
Okay.
Right. My favorite is 9. Actually, he plays like a little monkey boy. I say monkey boy, but it's because he has a tail, right? But it's more cartoony kind of Final Fantasy, I guess.
I don't think I played that one.
I've had like a PlayStation 3, a PlayStation 4, Xbox One, a Switch, and I've bought that game on every single console that I've gotten.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, normal childhood. Grew up with horror. Um, I kind of felt like I didn't really fit in anywhere, if that makes sense. I know everybody
Oh, yeah.
says it, but I mean, like legit, like I mean, that's how it was. And then I got to middle school, and that's where things like kids are assholes. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so when I was in middle school, I was like uh, seventh grade, sixth grade, and I decided to learn the cello.
Ooh.
So
Oh, that's right.
yeah, so I jumped into music class and was learning cello. I actually failed music.
Really?
Uh, yeah, because I chose not to go to those philharmonics that the schools had. The concertos is what they
Oh,
call them.
okay.
Because nobody shows up. People just made fun of you while you're there. So the whole time I was just like, I'll just learn the material. So I'd go home and I'd learn it. I'd crush it, man. I'd come back and it was just it was just weird, man. I didn't want to go to these philharmonics. It's not because I didn't want to play live in front of somebody. I think it's because just like people pick on you all the time, you know. And the only people who come to the show is your parents. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just didn't care.
So you're
So
like, man, fuck that.
huh?
So you were like, man, fuck that.
Yeah, and it was cool too because my parents were like, okay, all right, you don't have to if you don't want to. So I just didn't go. I'll tell you, cellos, man, that's such a great instrument,
Oh, I
right?
fucking love the cello, dude. That's like the number
It's
one instrument that I would want to learn how to play.
so good. It's got the girth, but at the same time, it's like still like the
I like some girth.
um the worst part about playing cello is missing the fucking bus because you got to hike that cello on your back
Oh,
and you got to
yeah.
carry it around, and that thing is heavy. And I was like 70 pounds, fucking soaking wet when I was in seventh grade.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like super skinny, so I'm just carrying around. I'm like this chopstick carrying around like a bottle of ketchup. It was the worst, you know.
Oh,
But it was all right though. I did end up failing it though. I really didn't care because it started off as like an elective is what they called it, which is like you only have to take like I don't know like 9 weeks or something of it. But it got me out of PE, so which I failed also because I didn't feel like dressing out every day and wearing their stupid outfits.
well, you're just an old time rebel, aren't you?
Just doing weird shit. Like, why do you have to change clothes to fucking do pull ups? I don't understand it. I ain't joining your wrestling team. I ain't doing none of that, you know? But
Yeah,
they're
I
all
think,
elective, so who cares, right? I'll just learn math. I'll learn science, social studies.
right.
That's the real shit.
Yeah, just do what you need to do in order to fucking graduate, basically.
Yeah, like who cares about a V sit and reach? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
nobody.
exactly.
Where's that gonna do me any good? You know what I mean?
Dude, I think
When do
most
I
of the
ever have
shit
to?
that we learned in high school never does anybody any good. Like,
Yeah,
why
no,
didn't they teach me how to do taxes or like balance a checkbook or how to take out a mortgage? Real shit that matters that I never learned. You know what I
yes.
mean?
Look after
Like,
your credit.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Don't
just
fuck up.
now.
I fucked up my credit long time ago, man.
I'm building mine back up. God, mine was shit.
Yeah, that's
God.
I still don't feel like a real adult, honestly, to be completely honest. But hey,
Uh, some days I try to, like with my job, I do because of what it entails. But
what does it
uh,
entail?
so it's like an operational engineering kind of role. Um, I work for Advanced Auto Parts,
Okay.
which, or I guess, what is it in Ohio? It's like CarQuest, I think, if y'all have it.
Yeah.
But I work for like the corporate office, if you can believe that, on their IT
You
team.
work in a corporate office?
Yeah, but I can wear whatever I want, right?
Really?
Within reason. Like I can't show up wearing a
With a
speedo or whatever.
death metal shirt?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Oh, you can?
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
Th-
cool.
There was for a while there. I was just wearing sleeveless shirts and going in there, and then we started having like actual employees coming in to do. And this is like after like the COVID. Like once the COVID thing is over, excuse me. Once the whole coronavirus thing is over, I got to wear like a polo, and I can actually. I would just wear skinny jeans everywhere I go. So I wear those to work and chucks, and that's it. So
Okay. So pretty casual.
yeah, I'd say so. Unless there's like some kind of like an actual corporate event happening or something, then you
Yeah.
have to like look like you know what the fuck you're doing, I guess.
You got to put on a button-up shirt and a tie or what?
No, no. just a polo.
Okay.
That's all I do.
Well, that's cool
I'm
that you can.
semi-casual.
That's cool that you can be sleeveless and all tatted up, and they don't say anything, at least for right now.
It didn't start like that. So when I first started that job, it was like, so I've been there like 9 years, right?
Mm.
And when I first started that job, I had super short hair, right? I'm talking like
You had
like
short hair?
super short hair. Hang on a second. I got my ID around here somewhere.
Okay.
So like here's my ID.
Oh, you look like a totally different person.
I look like a serial killer. Yeah. So I had
Because
super
you don't
short hair.
now.
Huh?
Because you don't now.
No, I
Kidding.
look like a drifter now is what it is. So yeah, I had super short hair. I wore button ups, and so I got snake bites. Dude, I've had these snake bites since I was like 21, 19, 20, something like that.
Nice.
And now they're just like posts in them, right? But like when I started there, I had like the captive bead rings in my lip, and they were like, you probably don't want to be seen. So we got our own room, right? Our own IT room. And they're probably like, you don't want to be seen out there with all the corporate folks with your lip ring out. So I left the beads out of them every day. And every time I'd leave the room, like to use the bathroom, I'd take my lip rings out. I just put them in my pocket, go use my business, whatever, take a leak, whatever, wash my hands, come back, put them back in.
Every time? Didn't that get annoying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was terrible. I did that for like 2 months or something. And it was funny too, because I got laid off from like my last job. And like I said, this is like 9 years ago. I got laid off and I had like no money, and then I get this job. I get an interview for it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, come in tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm looking through all my clothes, and I got just like this terrible set of outfits or whatever. Not good for an interview at a corporate office. So I actually ended up going to Goodwill and spending like $3.50 and getting like this whole button up
Fucking
pant
Goodwill,
suit
man.
thing. Yeah. $3.50.
Yep.
And I go to this interview, and so I was taller than the pants. So it's one of those things where it's like you sit down and then your pants go whoop. So it was like all the way up to like my knees. So it looked like I
Oh
was
my
wearing like
God.
capris or something. And the guy who's interviewed me, his manager was like, "What do you think of this guy? What do you think of this guy over here?" And it was okay. I got the job, yeah. But like for a while there, I was just like, and I kept my tattoos covered and everything. And then it was like 2 months went by, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna test the waters. So I just kept leaving them in, and then I was like rolling up my sleeves a little bit, and now it's just like a normal thing. Like that's who I am to the company, and as long as I keep doing my job, nobody says anything, you know.
That's cool. Yeah, you gotta ease it in slow sometimes. I've definitely done that. Yeah, that's what she said.
Right? Yeah. It's okay, man. I love my job. You know,
That's
if
cool.
I didn't have music, like this would be like the job that I would want to stay at to retire at. You know what I mean?
Well, that's awesome. I think most people have a hard time finding that. I still haven't found that. I pretty much have hated everything that I've done, which is
I think I
partially
did like up to that point. Like I've like delivered pizza. I think everybody's delivered pizza or worked at Walmart. It's one of those two, right?
yeah.
And I worked at Walmart. I applied to be like an unloading person because all my buddies worked there. They were like, "Yeah, come back here. We just fucking throw shit on pallets and then we wheel it out." And I'm like, "Man, what a great way to make fucking $8.25 an hour. Let's go." So I applied for it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's like we saw you applied for for unloading. We're gonna put you in stock and frozen foods at like 6 in the morning." And I'm like, "Wonderful." And I ended up getting sick there, like really sick. Uh, and they fired me.
Because you
Um,
got sick?
well, so like while I was sick, they were like, "Oh, we implemented this 1-800 number you have to call or something." I don't know. It was some weird system they had. But so from there, I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna go work for Papa John's because that's my future." You know. So I went. I delivered pizza for a while,
Did you make
and
good
then,
tips?
huh?
Did you make good tips?
Uh, so I guess. I guess it evened out. You could deliver right down the street and get somebody who's like, "Here's $50," and then like deliver like 20 miles away, it feels like. And then I remember there was this one little girl, and I guess she was staying with her grandma or something, but I would deliver a pizza out there, and I would always get stuck with delivering the pizza to this girl. And I guess her grandma was like, here is exact change. Give it to the pizza man.
Oh
And it's
God.
like 10 miles away
Damn it.
every time. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. But yeah, sometimes like you deliver pizza like right down the street and you get like a huge tip. And then I went back to Walmart and I was like, yeah, like I'm applying for frozen foods because like I'm a fucking expert. Like I was here for like a year last time. And they were like, okay, you're going in unloading. I was like,
I'm like,
so
God
you,
damn it. Just give me
but
what
yeah,
I
like,
want.
yeah. Well, that's cool because like unloading is what I wanted to do first.
Right. That's
So it
funny
was
how
all
that
right.
worked out.
We've all had shitty jobs leading up to that one job.
Yeah, I still haven't found that one job. I wanted to be a tattooer for like the longest time, and now I'm just too old. I'm like, it's kind of too late for that.
I don't think anybody's like I don't believe that, right?
No?
Do you really feel like you're too old to
Yeah.
be a tattoo artist?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
I
like
don't believe that.
physically I can do it, but it's just not feasible. Like unless I find a guy to date that's willing to teach me for free on my own time. It's like they want you to work there all day for free, and
Oh
which
yeah,
adult can do an apprenticeship, you know what I mean? Like, bitch, I
and
got
make
bills to
you,
pay.
and then they'll like haze you too, depending on the shop. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Oh
go to the
yeah.
store and carry back 14 2 liters at once.
Yeah. Well, I actually worked at one briefly for like 3 months, and
Hmm.
they I mean, it was only 3 months, so maybe if I had given
Yeah.
it more time. But it was just a party shop, people were just getting fucked up all the time, throwing up all over the floor, and of course I
Uh,
had to clean it. I had to clean up piss. I had to wait for people to stop fucking in the bathroom. People
so
were snorting coke in the back. One guy fucked up a tattoo because he was so fucking blasted, and I was like, yeah, I don't want this isn't what I signed up for.
well, there's definitely people who take their job seriously, right? Because like there's a lot of shops around here where you walk in and they're like fucking legit, like sanitizing everything and
Yeah.
super professional, and then there's some shops that aren't, and
Yeah.
those are the shops you wouldn't go to.
And that's the shop that I
Uh,
worked at,
Unless you want to
unfortunately.
clean up piss out of a tattoo shop. That's kind of
No,
weird,
no,
isn't
I don't. I did not know that was what I was cleaning. They told me it was beer, assholes.
it? Beer.
Yeah,
That's some
because
weird.
it was on it was like a
Must be
wet
Coors
couch.
Light.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, seriously. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I
What
can't
were we,
complain too much, I guess.
we were talking about my childhood, I think. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm in like I should have got like one of those reclined psychiatric chairs. So,
Tell me about your childhood. Scribble, scribble, scribble. I feel like I should be wearing sexy glasses and like a little suit or something.
yeah, hypnotizing somebody.
Yes. I'd be
Um,
down to be a hypnotist.
I'd probably be really easily hypnotized just because I believe in that shit. You know what I mean?
So do I. And also I
Yeah.
want to like know things about myself that I probably forgot from 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to look at it. I feel like I'm the kind of person I'm like borderline like if I have to see it to believe it kind of thing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm like, there's fucking aliens out there. You know what I mean? There's some shit out there. There's
Oh, fuck yeah.
ghosts. There's spirits. But at the same time, I'm like, did he really jump 50 feet on his bike? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'd have to see that.
So why do you believe in aliens and ghosts and spirits? Have
I
you
don't
ever
know.
seen like UFOs, dude? I've seen fucking UFOs. It's wild.
Have you seen him like legit UFO? Like
Fuck yeah, dude. I got
that's not
actually
just like an airplane.
no, I gotta make like a YouTube video about this experience because I legit saw a fleet of like 15 and I thought it was the end of the world and I thought we were gonna get abducted and me and my friend were like crying and
You
we
straight
we
got
it was crazy.
Independence Day.
Yeah, I really thought it was gonna be some War of the World shit, man. It was wild. What about ghosts? Have you ever had any weird like ghost encounters or something?
So I've actually been talking to one of my friends, and she was telling me all about this, like how she's been like hearing stuff and seeing stuff, and her house is haunted. And I'm in an apartment, right? And this is like a renovated apartment. This thing's like everything in here is like it's like new, it's like fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking died here. But ever since she's fucking said that, I've been hearing fucking babies crying in my apartment.
Really?
Right? There's no fucking babies in here. Yeah.
You sure it's
And
not
I
a
even told her,
neighbor?
I talked to her after the fact. I said, "What the fuck did you put over here?" You know,
What kind of juju did you cast
like
on me?
what kind of yeah, like what kind of spirits did you send through your text message?
I
It's
don't know
just
about
weird stuff.
I don't know about text messages, but if you hang out with somebody that's inclined to paranormal experiences, those things can definitely follow you home and all that.
Yeah, I've got a buddy named Aubrey he's been telling me, and I totally forgot. And I actually went over there, but I told him I'd never go over there again because he's been telling me about some creepy shit that's been happening at his house. And I was like, totally forgotten. I was just over there like 2 weeks ago, last week.
Maybe that's
I
why.
fucking bet that's where it came from.
God damn it, Aubrey.
Sending
Making me
his
haunted
fucking
and shit.
ghost babies here to my
Oh man.
apartment.
Fucking ghost babies. I
He's
think
awesome. That's funny.
my dad told me he went into our apartment one time and there was like nobody home and he was just I don't know, he came home from work or something, but we were gone. And he heard like a little girl's voice say, "Daddy." And he was like, "What the fuck?" And he turned around and nobody was there and he like totally freaked out.
Does he still live in that house?
No, no, that was a long
Yeah.
time ago.
See, he learned real quick to get the fuck out of there.
I mean, but
We
we
had
stayed for a while.
he's like, let's see what happens. Let's just wait it out. I've
Yeah,
already
right.
invested some money in this haunted establishment. Before my parents got divorced, we used to live in a house that had I don't know if you remember the movie Home Alone too well. If you don't, you're probably like 10 years old. But in
I
his
mean, I
basement, he had
remember.
the huh?
I mean, I remember. Not in
Okay, so
detail. It's been many years, but yeah, I watched Home
but
Alone.
you'd remember this. He had like this furnace that was fucking Satan's furnace in his basement, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that?
I don't.
Oh my god. So yeah, so Kevin McAllister had like this furnace, and whenever he'd go down into the basement, he'd have to fucking just take off running because it would like start opening up its like door.
That sounds vaguely familiar, actually.
So we had one of those haunted furnaces in a house that we lived at. Shit just
Really?
doesn't start cooking on its own, you know what I mean? That furnace was up to some shit.
That furnace was up to something.
He was just gonna heat our house real nice and we didn't want it.
That's funny.
But
I
yeah,
don't
what were
have
we talking about?
uh
School, cello.
school. Just you think that you should be laying in a lounge therapy chair because I asked you
Oh
about your
yeah.
childhood.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me about your anxiety. I mean, I always see you posting on Facebook and you're always like very, very positive and optimistic and oftentimes uplifting, which is why I reached out to you because I'm like, oh, this guy seems like good people, even though
Yeah.
like I had literally just added you and I just saw like all these positive things that you're always posting and you're pretty open
Well,
about your anxiety. So tell me a little bit about that.
yeah, so like from a personal standpoint, I don't like to put like all my and people do this all the time, but I don't like to put all my personal stuff like on Facebook, like oh I need money. Somebody broke into my car or something. You know what I mean? I don't like to do all that. I'll deal with all that in my own thing. But um yeah, so I've had like this crippling anxiety for like a long time and I have not really found a trigger. I'm starting to believe like at this point in my life, like it's not a thing that triggers it, but it's people you surround yourself with that may trigger your anxiety.
Mm,
Or at
okay.
least their conflicting energies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know there are probably things that trigger. I was actually just talking about this with somebody like um so my hands would get super clammy, I get tunnel vision and just nothing. I couldn't figure it out. Something's making me panic. And it's happened all the time when I was a kid growing up. And I remember one time I drove up to my mom's condominium, uh, and for some reason, like I was just talking about this with somebody, it's crazy. For some reason, I go in the kitchen and she's making coffee. I'm like, I could use some coffee. Like this is fucking awesome. So I pour myself a cup. I get the creamer out. I stir it around, whatever. And I
Mhm.
take a sip of it, and it was fucking tea. I just lose it. I start going into full on panic mode, and I
Really?
don't know what caused it. Yeah, it's just the weirdest thing. And I'm the whole time I'm like freaking out. I'm like like hyperventilating, and I'm like, who the fuck makes tea? The coffee pot. Fucking apparently everybody does. I didn't know that,
I fucking
but I was
don't.
just it's yeah. Who does that?
Yeah.
But it's just little stuff like that, right? When it got into like playing shows, because I've been playing shows for a long time, right? Um, and it didn't used to bother me, but I think my OCD plays like a huge factor, and everything has to be like a perfect way. You know what I mean? Everything has to be perfectly lined up. And any guitarist knows, like when you get like a Floyd Rose tremolo, if you have it like set up like perfectly, like you're like golden. You don't have to tune it. You don't have to do anything. Pull it out of a case. You know, you can just play it. You can dive with it. But I got mine secondhand, and I would always be concerned like if your guitar's like out of tune, if you got like a low end like tremolo system on your guitar or something. I don't know if
Aw.
you can hear one of my
Yeah,
cats.
he's so cute.
Yeah, she's a chunky one.
Oh.
Um, so if you're got like a low end tremolo system like Floyd Rose or whatever, and it's just like shit. I got mine secondhand. I think I got it from a buddy of mine, or I might have drove up to Guitar Center and got it or something in another city. But if you got just like a lower end, like if you go out of tune, you're gonna have to bring like a Allen wrench with you and unlock the nut at the top, retune it, just hope everything stays in, and then play your show. And I had to get rid of that. It was stuff like that that was just like right before we go on stage, tunnel vision. I couldn't even think. I couldn't breathe. It's just the weirdest stuff, you know. But that's when it like comes to playing shows. But like actually playing shows, um, that's like actually playing music. That's probably what saved me. You know, because as soon as I start playing, like if I'm in like panic mode or something like that, uh, gone, goes away. This way, and like the more I think about it, and there's been like points in my life where my anxiety is just completely gone. Like it's like years gone, and then you
Oh,
start thinking about it, and
gosh.
then it starts coming back. She's being a chunky. Sorry.
You can hold her if you want.
Uh, okay. There you go. Here's one of them.
Hi, kitty. Oh,
He's a chunky. Her
he's
name's
so
Taters.
cute. But that's really weird. So you don't know like why it manifested? Is it just something that you've always dealt with? You said when you've
So
just always dealt with it since you were young?
being extremely OCD is something I've always dealt with, and I think that the anxiety might have been a result of that. I
Okay.
guess if
Like a
things
side
aren't in
effect.
like a perfect way, or if they aren't the exact way that I want them, then my body kind of goes into this weird uh, lockdown, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So
But
you
yeah,
still are you still OCD now?
yep.
Have you ever
Yeah.
tried to get help for it?
So it's gotten a lot better. I went and tried to get help for my anxiety one time, and they tried to put me on some medication that it's like Benadryl, but it's like on crack, and they wanted me to like work on it, right? Like take it and then like go to work. But as soon as I take it, I'm like, I gotta find like a couch or a bed. I'm going to sleep, you know.
Right.
So I just there. I was. I'm more of like, there's got to be a natural way. You know what? Know what I mean? There's got to be more of a natural way to get through all this. Um, and I think it's like caused me digestive issues and stuff. So I've had to. Uh, I literally stick to like a ginger diet and like turmeric.
Oh, that's good. It's healthy for you.
Yeah, yeah, in a way. I guess too much of it's not good.
Is
Um,
that to help your digestion? Is it good for that?
I guess if that's what I tell myself.
Maybe it's just a placebo effect.
Probably. I'm a hypochondriac. So if I'm like on a bus or something like that, and somebody's like, "Oh, a fucking kidney," I'm like, "Oh, my kidney." You know, me too, man.
Oh.
And then like my side will start hurting. It's terrible. Like the other it's probably like 4 months ago at work or something like that. I got like an earache, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I got a tooth up where my ear is hurting. I was like, I should probably it's terrible. It's like a wisdom tooth.
Oh
And I
no.
called and I made like an oral surgery appointment to get my tooth taken out and all, like all sorts of stuff. And
Uh-huh.
just like a week later, the pain went away. And I was like, oh, just cancel my appointment. I'm fine. I don't need this tooth taken out. It
That's
was
so
weird.
weird. Did you
Yeah.
find out if somebody else had like a toothache nearby you or an earache or something?
That I don't remember. it's,
Right.
it's stuff like that. They're like, if I'm sitting next to somebody or somebody starts talking about it, and they're like, "Yeah, I got fucking spinal meningitis." I'm like, "Oh, my back's been hurting recently." It's like maybe I got it. You know?
So weird.
Yeah.
I think there's like some sort of term for people like that. I don't think it's
Hypochondriac, I think,
is,
is what it is.
doesn't that just mean that you want to be like really clean all the time? Isn't that
Isn't that like germaphobe or something?
I think it's I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know,
haven't
something
been
like
on
that.
WebMD in a couple weeks. So
In a couple of weeks.
yeah,
It's so
it's been a
funny.
while.
Oh, dude, it's been a few years for me. You're funny.
Yeah, I like got this splinter here. Oh, I'm dying. All right.
Shit.
Just
It's
says
because it's
take
a
the finger off.
tumor.
Yeah, just gotta take the whole hand off. I got this splinter. But yeah, it's like
Funny.
just little things. I like turn into like big things, but I'm trying to work on it. Like music is like the number one way. Like there's been so much that's happened like this year to me that I've been having to deal with like this. So like a big primary thing like was like my father passed away in June.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's that so that hit me like big time, right? Because
Yeah.
he was like my best friend. He's my music buddy, you know what I mean? He was like my horror buddy, And he passed away at like this dialysis center, and it was like 3:30 in the afternoon when they called, and it was like every 10 minutes they were like, "Yeah, we're just reminding you we still got his body here, Just like we need you to do something with it." And I was just like, God damn. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Fuck.
So so that was kind of like a big hit, just not having him here. Because whenever I have like problems with him, I like go to somebody else or not like with him, you know what I mean? But or something like this, I'd go to somebody else. Or if I have a problem with anybody, anything, I would just go right to my dad, you know.
Mhm.
And I've got like a ton of voicemails on my phone from him, and I was like, I can't bring myself to listen to him, but I can't delete him, you know.
Just give yourself some time.
Yeah, it's probably gonna take a while.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, but I'm sure some point in the future you'll probably really appreciate that you didn't delete them, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm never gonna delete them, right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
really fresh. I'm so sorry, dude.
Yes. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, that was probably like the biggest hit to me at that point in time in this year, right? And it kind of sucked too, because like when he went into like the hospital was like right as soon as this whole coronavirus stuff started. So when he went into the hospital in like March, I didn't see him like at all until like he passed away. And then they were like,
Fuck.
"Well, do you want to ID him?" And I was like, "No, no, I can't do that." So um so that was a big hit. I went through a lot of personal relationship changes too, like during the whole thing, probably like a month later, and that was
Mhm.
like a huge shift because like the things I usually bring from my dad to them, I can't do, and then I can't go to my dad for like things that would happen like with this whole like relationship situation scenario or whatever.
Mhm.
So I was like, you have nobody, right? And then I'm living in like this apartment that I've got with like just myself and like I don't know if you ever seen me post about him, but he's probably like my best friend at this time is
You're
I
kidding?
can't, Tuna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
cute.
so just me and the so I got three cats, but he's like when you look at him, you're like, you gotta get a picture of him. You know what I mean? Because like he's just the most handsome little nugget.
Oh,
Um but yeah, it was just me in this apartment, just by myself. I don't have my dad to talk to. I don't have and the way it felt is like I didn't have anybody to talk to, right? So
yeah.
I felt pretty dark and like this depression, and sometimes it'll like come and go now, but like during that whole period, it was just like there was nobody to talk to who would like understand how you feel. You know what I mean?
Right.
So so I finally tried like branching out and talking to my friends, and I'll tell you what, like the bandmates that I got now are like godsend. You know what I mean? They're like they're like my saving grace in a way, you know, just real down to earth, real cool dudes, but like they've lived and learned, you know, they've been through like same kind of experiences. So it's like it's easy to confide in them. And then I got reconnected with all my friends that, you know, I've lost over the years, and uh hanging out with some of my best friends, and it's all that's like kind of helped me through that rough period, you know.
That's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you reached out to some friends. I know it's really hard for people to do sometimes for whatever reason.
I strongly I strongly recommend it, right?
Yeah, you were telling me you have a pretty good support network. Is that what you meant? Like
Mhm.
your friendships? What
Yeah, with
about sorry, go ahead.
no, just friends and the band, I think was a big one.
What about your mom?
So I don't really call up there and talk too much, and it's not just that, you know, I don't want to, you know, it's life gets away from you, you know what I mean? So she moved up to like a DC area, and then it's probably like 4 hours from here. And then eventually she moved back down a little bit, but still like 2 hours away. And life just like the band and like work and just everything just like took off. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't keep up with work, and then I couldn't keep up with the band stuff. And we've had some really like blessed opportunities that I'm so grateful for. But like, it's like when you get to like when you're able to do like some of these opportunities, like it's just everything's like go 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 go. You know what I mean? Like you have to like turn your music into a job. And at that time, like I didn't understand the um, seriousness of it. Like so that's like I was telling you earlier. We've got like a ton of songs that we're trying to write with this new project. I don't know if it was where my mentality was at like during that band, or because I was like still like struggling with like drinking. You know,
Yeah.
I just had like no motivation, right? I had no drive. I didn't know where to go with it. And then you just fall behind, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Would you mind mentioning, I mean, you told me earlier, but would you mind mentioning like a little bit of your struggle with drinking?
yeah, so the drinking thing was kind of, it started out as like nothing. Like there was like no real reason for it. You know what I mean? I was just like, yeah, I'll just have a few beers during the week. And then it turned into probably like, when I say case, like I mentioned case to somebody and they were like, God damn. But it's like, I'm thinking like a 12 pack. They were thinking like a 24 pack, but I would drink between 12 and 15 uh, beers a night. And I mean, like every night, not just like on the
Yeah.
weekends.
Yeah.
And then get up and try and go to work and try and function. And like at that point in time, like to me, how I felt like when I woke up was like normal. Like that's how you're supposed to feel. Go to work, you know, get it done, whatever. Um, Play a show, you know. And one thing I've never done was drink and play a show. But that was like something I was like absolutely against. And there was some members who were on the same page as me, like when you play a show or something like that. And there's people who can hold their own, right? You can give somebody like a 6 pack of beer and then get up there, they can shred their ass off, and they're like, you know, killing it. I took a sip of beer one time, and I think my mind got in the way, but I got paranoid as fuck, and I was just terrible. And I'm already terrible with that. I was like worse like this night. I was like, it was garbage. But I think it was my mind telling me like, man, you took a sip, you're fucked up. Like you're trashed.
Man, that's crazy.
But but um but yeah, just like that was the one time, and that was like when this band first was like getting off the ground, probably like 6 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I never drank before we played. I was like, if people are coming out to like to hear you, to see you, you know, and they're paying like money, like they're not paying to see you like stumble all across the stage, you know.
Yeah.
So I always waited till it was done. But yeah, it was just like every night I would just crush like a pack of beer, you know,
Yeah.
12 to
That's
15. And then it got to the point where I was like waking up and oh man, it was the weirdest thing. And I think like that's where my digestive issues came in, was probably like drinking too much, right?
mhm.
Um but like everything I ate for like a period of time just like made me queasy. I didn't relate it to the beer, right?
Right.
I was like, oh man, fucking gallbladder. I read online somewhere that my gallbladder's got to come out.
Fucking
And
WebMD.
then, huh?
WebMD.
It's the worst. So yeah, I looked up online. I was like, why does my side hurt? And they're like, shit's fucked. You know, it's like you're dead. You're already dead. Just give up. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
no. And
Oh no.
yeah, and the doctor I had, he's a great doctor, but he's like worst case scenario, right? So I'll go in there and he'll be like, oh, you got some pains right here. He goes, well, we'll check you out. Might have to have surgery in the morning, but we'll see.
What
We'll
the
see.
fuck?
Yeah. And I'm like, God damn, why'd you say that? No. So from that point forward, I was just uh one test after the other, like, and they were like, they finally sent me to like a gastro, and they're like, you got IBS, like there's nothing physically wrong to you, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, you just stop eating so much spicy food and you won't have pain in your side. Just none of it was ever good enough for me. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I was like, no, I got to go find a new doctor who can tell me what's wrong with me, you know?
Yeah.
And racked up some medical bills on that, you know, and I'm getting those figured out. But it was like, yes, just that's why I was saying like I'm a hypochondriac, like when it comes to like illness like that, or if somebody mentions something, I'm just like, yep, me too. I got that. Yeah. You're not the only one with brain cancer. That's me too. You know, I had a headache yesterday. I'm fucked. So we shouldn't be laughing about it because
I'm sorry, but it's
it's like
funny the way you deliver it.
it's like a real thing
I
though,
know
right?
it's a real thing, but it's funny how you say it. It's good to make light of things that are like serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It could
yeah.
be like a healthy coping mechanism. But but yeah, I can have brain cancer too, like all casual,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, me too. Look at my stamp card. I've got these illnesses this week.
Oh Lord.
Uh, but yeah, so ever since I've like, I guess just a hot subjects. Ever since I've been um in the band, I've been drinking, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, and it's so easy to do, right? So like when you're in a band and you're playing shows and everything, and I don't know if it's like every band, metal bands, or if it's just our band, but you play shows and then after you're done, everybody's like, let's go back to the fucking hotel and turn into fucking assholes, you know? And you're just like, yeah, it's like, let's go pick up a 12 pack. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yes. I want to be that asshole. But it was that was a lifestyle, right? You play a show, go back to the hotel, you drink, wake up, go somewhere else, right? Play a show or whatever.
Yeah.
Um and that started bleeding over into like my productivity. And I swear it's like ever since I quit drinking, like my drive is coming back to right, my motivation's coming back. And like alcoholism, like that's a real thing. Like I'm not that I wouldn't like wake up, crack open a beer. I've known some people like that. Wake up, crack open a beer. Like um one of my brothers, I went to see him. This has been like 5 years ago, but I woke up, it was like 9 o'clock, and he's like, wake up, buddy, I got you breakfast. And it was a fucking tall boy of like Bud Light and some donuts. And I was like,
That's so horrible.
I'm fucking 22. Okay. And I was like, that was my diet, you know. I didn't care.
Oh,
But
God.
now I'm looking at it, and I'm like, beer makes me feel like shit. Maybe I just won't drink that anymore. So I just quit, and it was probably for me personally because I didn't wake and start drinking immediately. It was easier for me to quit drinking alcohol than it was for me to like quit smoking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like I tried so many times to quit smoking, and then it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be a fucking dick for like a week. Deal with it. And I was an absolute dick for a week or two, and then that was it. That was pretty tough. But alcoholism was. I think I'm gonna attribute all my digestive issues to that. You know.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. What was like the definitive point when you decided, okay, this is enough and I just don't want to drink anymore at all?
um, so a couple of years ago, I decided to quit, and then had some issues with like personal relationships and started drinking again. I think it was just like the fact that I was waking up and I was feeling like shit. Nothing I ate tasted right. Um, always queasy, And it got to the point, I guess, a breaking point where I was like, could it be the fucking beer every night making me feel like shit? And it's like as soon as you turn 30, like your body is like, stop what you're doing, stop everything.
You're
You're
old.
you're you're a glow stick when you wake up now.
Crack,
Um,
crack, crack.
yeah,
So true.
it's, it's like around there, I guess. And then I stopped drinking during the week, and I start feeling better, and then the weekend gets here, and it's so easy, like when you're way home, just to stop and just pick up some beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Oh
like
yeah.
same thing with like quitting smoking. Like when you quit drinking too, you're like, well, how am I gonna fucking operate? How am I gonna watch movies anymore? Without drinking, especially when you've done it for like 8 years.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
then it becomes like second nature. So yeah, I quit just on the weekdays and then party on the weekends, and then come Monday morning, I'm feeling like shit again. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just quit entirely. And I'm in an environment now where I feel like it's easier for me to quit. You know what I mean? You need a good support system, but I think I'm a good support system to myself when it comes to like drinking, as long as I don't have like an enablement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as you're not like surrounded by people that are like, hey man, let's take shots and
Yeah, well, at least like
yeah.
when you first like start, because like the group of members that we're performing with right now, they're like, it's like you do you, man. Like we'll back you like 100%. And then I've been in the band with some members where it's like, they're like, oh well, that's cool, but come up here to the mountains. Let's get fucked up at the waterfalls or something. I don't know. Some weird shit.
Yeah.
You know how people in the country are.
Yeah, that does sound fun though.
Hmm?
That does sound fun though.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
I kind
yeah.
of want to go get fucked up at the waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first time. So that came to mind. That was the first time I got drunk, and that was the worst time I've ever got drunk. We it was like so Bedford, Virginia, and I got invited up to hang out. It wasn't huge waterfalls; it was like low falls or something like that. Um, but we got 24 packs of Natty Light, and then we each got our own 40 of Still Reserve. And I was like 17, and I was like, yeah, I was like, let's get fucking trashed. This is cool. Let's fucking kill it. And then that was it.
Well, that's why you felt like shit. You were drinking Natty Light and Steel Reserve.
Yeah. So yeah, I got absolutely destroyed when that was like my first time getting drunk, and I had a bunch of friends with me, and there was like one guy there, and this guy was like the coolest guy. Like he I had like real short hair at that time, right? Like in that picture I showed you, but I was
Yeah.
like 17. Um, and he had like this long golden hair, and he was a fucking shredder. And I was like, whoa, so cool. And he was teaching me about Buckethead. And I was like, that's awesome. I was like, I just learned fucking Adam's song from Blink 182. Like, what else you got? And he goes, oh, check out this Eric Clapton. And he was so great. And I was like hanging out of the car, throwing my fucking brains out,
Oh
right?
man.
And he was like, "Well, bro," he's like, "Oh no, he's sick." And he was like a huge metalhead, and I was just like getting into it and getting out of this like
Yeah.
pop punk period I was in. And they were like, his name is Shane. He's like, Shane, he's gonna be fine. He's drunk. He goes, oh, he's dying. We gotta save him. And we ended up, after I threw up literally everything I ate for that week, I got in the car, and they're like, let's go swing by McDonald's and get some food. And I'm in the back seat and like fucking paralyzed, right? So they go through McDonald's, they eat, and then they're like, okay, time to drop you off at your house, right? Well, it turns out they didn't go to McDonald's. They actually went in IHOP for like 4 hours while I was out in the car.
Oh my god, that's
Passed
so
out.
fucked up.
Yeah, I was gone. It was terrible. But it was great
Oh.
though. It was a good learning experience.
It's good
But
to
yeah,
be
anyway,
optimistic about situations like that.
yeah, just gotta be positive. But yeah, I mean, so fast forward to current day, alcoholism. you know, but yeah, no, I don't have that. I don't have a negative impact system right now, I guess. So I can come home like after work or come home from a show and I could just be like, make some hot cocoa or something, whatever. Just hang out with my
Yeah.
fucking cat, you know. I'm like a huge like coffee drinker, right? So I'll just in the night I'll just make like decaf or something. So I don't
Yeah.
stay up till 4. And like my new band members are already like seeing like a side of me that I haven't seen in like years, but it's like where I'll go to sleep at like 1 in the morning and wake up at like 5 and I'm like, yo, I'm ready to fucking go. Like I'm ready to write a song. Let's do it. You know? And they're already
Way too
like,
early.
yeah, they're like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Like, do you even sleep? And I'm like, man, it's like 5. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's write something.
Well, that's
And I'm
good
usually
though.
so I usually wake up at like 5 or 5:30, and it's
Mm-hmm.
usually because of tuna.
Because of tuna? Because
Yeah,
that what time is it, boy or girl? I forget.
he's a boy. He's a big chunk.
That's what
He's
time he
huge.
eats.
No, he just fucking gets up. I don't know what his problem is. Like,
The fuck tuna.
so you know what probably did it is there was one time that I set an alarm for 5, right?
Hmm.
And I hit snooze a few times and snoozed a few times, and this is like the first time I can remember him doing this. And then I wake up and it's like fucking 8:30, and I got to be at work at 8, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah. Here he is, right here.
Where is he? Tuna?
He's
Oh,
huge.
he's so chunky.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tuna, have you been drinking lots of beer? Is that why
Yeah, that's
you're
how he does.
chunky? He's adorable.
Yeah, he's a big nugget. When I got him, he was like tiny. He was like this big, and then he's just like.
You feeding him chicken nuggets or what?
So he eats dry food, and then he gets wet food once a day, and then I give him like deli meat. Probably shouldn't. I give him deli meat from the fridge once in the morning and once in the evening. I just go in there and like pick some out and toss it down for him, and I really need to stop. He like snores and wheezes when he sleeps.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, back to that. Back to him. Like
Waking you
it was
up?
like, yeah, I woke up at like 8:30, and he was in the bed, and I flip out because you oversleep like when you wake up and it's the sun is suspiciously breaking through your window, and you're like, what
Yes.
the like no. So I leap out of bed, I throw the covers off, whatever, and I subsequently toss him off the bed. I guess I don't mean to.
Right.
But yeah, he gets like in panic mode. His hair's like, and his tail's all
Oh.
super bushy, and he's like in just this weird state. So now I think he like wakes me up at 5 because he's like, never again, motherfucker. We're just like, we're getting you up.
Oh
So if like my
wow.
alarm goes off or I hit snooze or something like that, and even then, I mean, when I don't have an alarm set, he's like got this weird like meow purr thing that he does.
This is his wake up meow.
Yeah, and I mean, I get up because I'll lay there for a little bit, and like my want to lay in the bed is heavily outweighed by how bad I have to pee. And then like once you're out of bed, you're just like, fuck it, coffee time, let's do it.
Everybody's struggle. I know it's like once you break the seal, it's all over.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it slides through your mind, like, should I just lay here and pee? Fuck it, Now, but once you get up, once you use the bathroom and everything, I cut the light on and he's ready to roll,
Mhm.
And then once you're up, your cats go back to bed. That's how it always works.
That was his plan all along, was just to get you out of bed.
What's his plan? He is a fatty. I don't know how to get him to stop. I've like been watching like weird videos where it's like how to get your cat to lose weight. And they're just none of them apply to him. They're like, oh, get him to run around. He already runs around. You know what I mean? I already play with him a lot. It's just I think I overfeed him or
I'm
something.
sure. Yeah, I mean, it's always, they say when you're dieting, it's 80% diet and 20% working out. So I imagine it must be similar for animals as well. Maybe just try portion controlling, just giving him a
Well,
little
so
bit
here's
less
the
food.
problem: is like I got 3 cats. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, beans, taters, and tuna. And he's like, I can't control what he eats versus like the other 2. So I
Right.
just like, but I don't give him that much food either.
Maybe he eats the other cat's food.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, because I used to have two dogs, and one of them would do that, so I wouldn't be surprised either.
Well, he's definitely a big hoss. I know that. He's cool, man. He's been like my kind of like my little saving grace, you know.
Yeah, he's your best buddy.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Animals can be really healing for the soul, man. Like
I agree. I mean,
I don't
they
know what
they
I'd do
take
without
them
my
like
dog.
they take them to hospitals, right? They got those emotional support animals, right? Isn't that a
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's definitely photogenic.
Yeah,
I put
he's
him in
really
like
adorable.
weird outfits. Like he's well, so it started. He's just a weird one, right? So I started when you bring in groceries, yeah, he would stand there until you like put one of the handles of it on his back, and he just would run around the house like it's a cape. He's a good character.
Oh, that's so adorable. I'm gonna try that with Wolfie. That's
You
my dog's
should-
name, Wolfie.
Luffy, what is it?
He's a little Maltese Shih Tzu. Oh,
What is that?
he's a little fluffy boy. Come here, baby. Come here. So sorry, I wake you up. Here he
Oh my
is.
god!
Hi.
Yeah, put a trash bag around his neck. Let's see if he like
No,
not in a bad way, but just like
I know, I know.
he's like,
Sorry, bubs.
"Ah, can't breathe."
Oh, he always gets so matted up. I'm trying to like get him to be more fluffy. Oh, he's mad
Yeah,
at
we
me.
had a
Perfect.
this is a long time ago, but that the first one that I picked up, she would poop and then it would like get on her like back hairs or whatever, and you had to take some like I tossed the whole set of clippers out because I had to like shave her butt cheeks off
Oh,
because
yeah.
she had poop all over it.
Oh, well, didn't you give her a bath first? Oh, well.
Giving cats baths.
Well, you could have maybe used wipies.
I mean, there were alternatives to shaving her butt off. Yeah,
But that is the one that you chose. And
it was had to make a quick decision. We didn't have time.
it's such a dude. That's such a dude thing to do. Like,
Like, you
like,
know, yeah.
like just skip to the most extreme step.
I mean, I think that's me as a person. Like, oh, I got an earache. What are the kind of surgery to take my jaw off? What can I do? Like, it's heinous.
Oh Lord, you're so funny. Okay, well, you said you wanted to go for about an hour, so we're coming up on time. Is there anything that
I'm,
you would like to say before? Like maybe I know you were saying that you have a healthy support system. Is there any other way that you would suggest people cope with maybe their anxiety or OCD or
so
alcoholism?
a lot of people have different stuff that they use to like cope. So like you either have music, right,
Yeah,
or you have like art. You know,
yeah.
so I know a lot of people that I've talked to with anxiety, like drawing or writing is like a huge thing for them,
Yeah.
right? Is that you?
Yeah, I'm an artist.
Are you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I told you I wanted to be a tattooer.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, send me some of your artwork. I want to look at it.
Really?
Uh,
Okay, sure.
uh, yeah. So just like find passion and get your mind into it. And I just recently started meditating. Like our other
Awesome.
guitarist is like, he's like, shit is like it works. Like do it. And there's like you'll find stuff on YouTube. Half of it like works, half of it doesn't. But just find something, just get your mind away from it, just like clear your mind. I definitely wouldn't recommend going to any substance or anything when you're having an anxiety attack or panic attack. So it's like don't go to alcohol because that shit is a problem. It can be a problem, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if it like interferes with like your work. I think that for me, that's when it uh came to a point. You know what I mean? And it's funny. I forget who I was talking to. Uh, Might have been Joe Walsh from like the Eagles. Who was I wasn't talking to him, but he was talking to somebody on like VH1 Classic. It was like it's not really like a behind the music. I can't even remember what kind of show it was, but he was talking to him, and apparently he had like this huge like alcohol problem.
Hmm.
And this dude is fucking rich, right? So that's when like you have too much alcohol, but you also have too much fucking money too. When you're in the fucking Eagles and you make that much money, you can fucking do whatever you want. So they were talking to him about what his like turning point was. Like, where did you fucking hit that wall to where you were deciding, you know what, I'm just going to put the bottle down? And he said he went into this huge story where he had just like had a night out or something like that, and he came home and he was just throwing beer back, throwing shots back, whatever he could get his hand on to drink. And um, he said he passed out in his kitchen floor. And then when he woke up, he was on a plane descending into Paris, France.
What the
Like he had
fuck?
got blackout drunk, bought a plane ticket, got on a plane, and he was going into Paris.
What?
I'm like 99% sure that was his story on that VH1 Classic, and I'm like, that resonates with me. I'm like, I feel you, but like on a much like more affordable like wavelength. Like maybe I wake up and I'm on my way into like Subway or something to get a wrap. I don't know, but yeah, I remember I had quite a bit to drink probably like 2 months ago, and it was just not. It was a weekend, right? So I quit doing like the whole during the week thing, but it was a weekend thing, and I think it was like 4 in the morning. I woke up and I had my phone in my hand, and I was on like Amazon, the app, and I was one click away from buying like this. You ever seen like those like Funko Pop things? Like
I don't think so.
they're
What is
like
it?
collectible figures, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, those little characters. Yes, with the big
Yeah,
heads.
yeah. I got a shit ton of them, but like I collect like the horror ones. So like
Oh,
I was
that's
at a
cool.
convention here recently, and I got Pinhead and Reagan from
Nice.
The Exorcist.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, I was one click away from getting like an autographed Captain Spaulding fucking pop, and the shit was like $250.
Oh shit.
Like I woke up and I was like, oh, and it was in my cart, and I had all my fucking information filled out,
Oh
and
my god.
I don't remember doing that. I'd have probably been upset, but at the same time, I'd have probably been okay with it. That's like that's my great value Joe Walsh moment. And then I was like, I got to put the brakes on it.
Okay. So that was the moment. The little Captain Spaulding pop. What is
Yeah,
it called? What is it called?
it's like a pop,
Pop.
pop. Yeah,
Big
but
pop.
it's not necessarily like what it was. It was the fact that there's fucking $250 getting to get sucked out of my bank account.
Right.
I was like, maybe I'll just drink some water. I don't know.
Drink some water or some tea. Yeah, I find that
Mm.
just drinking something as a substitute, like a
Mm.
tea or a coffee or whatever,
Yeah,
hot chocolate, like you said, somehow satiates that addiction a little bit because it's like
yeah,
you're still performing the act of drinking a liquid. It's just not booze. So
yeah. Well,
small
so they
baby
tell you not to
steps.
do that, like if you're like quitting smoking or something.
Yeah.
They tell you not to like chew gum or something, because then every time after that, every time you chew gum, you're gonna think about a cigarette. I don't know. I said, fuck it, I chew gum, right? And I quit. So
Okay. Well, that's good. Good for
yeah,
you.
whatever works, I guess.
Well, that's fucking awesome, dude. I'm like, I don't know you that well, but I'm actually really proud of you for being able to do that and put the
Thank
bottle
you.
down because it's something that I told you I struggle with that also. And I was actually
Yeah.
just having to drink right now, and I feel like kind of an asshole for doing that in front of you. I'm sorry.
No, so I was just down with the other members of the band, and they were one of them was drinking. He brought in like a whole big thing of bootleggers.
Oh,
So I'm unfazed by it at this point. It's been like
okay,
six
cool.
weeks. So,
Okay,
and
well
it's
that's
not like I'm
awesome.
I'm like done forever. It's just I'm quitting until I can like assert myself to just having like one or two and being fine. You know what I mean?
Okay, good.
So instead of buying like a whole 12 pack and be like, woo, fucking $500 on Amazon, done. Two things, done.
Yeah,
So
just to like kind of mellow out and chill a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Until I can trust myself around my bank account, I guess. No, until I can just trust myself, to
Yeah,
like, because I like Jack and Cokes, but if I go out and buy like a bottle of Jack Daniels and Coke,
it's
right,
gone.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to like chill. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh,
I'm
you
like,
will not be chill, sir.
no.
You will throw that motherfucker back real quick.
Oh yeah, I probably will. Like beers, like are just easy for me to do. Like it's so easy to drink like a shit ton of beer in a row. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I know. But
Especially like
drinking 8
playing.
cups of water is so hard.
Yeah, even like getting like those like little lemonade packs or something like that that you can put in them.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
It
It's
is
still
bullshit.
water.
I still don't drink enough water. I don't know why.
No, I live off coffee and caffeine. I work in IT, so I mean that's what it is.
Sounds about right.
So it
Is
might be a little different when we start playing shows because that's the ground zero for like opening a door to partying.
right.
Yeah. Because you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go read this book, you know. Well, I can't, me personally. They're gonna be like, let's fucking drink all this beer and throw this statue off a bridge. I'm like, let's go, let's do it. I'm fucking fine. Okay.
Why don't I have friends like that? I don't know.
I don't know. They're probably all arrested if they're throwing statues off a bridge. So I've been up to some mischief when I drink.
Why
Some,
does that not
some
surprise me, Joseph?
So it does involve a statue. So we used to, and I hope they don't see this. Fuck them, because they're like 89,000 years old anyway. They probably don't have Facebook, but and I regret it. Okay, so I'll say that I do regret it. But there was a old country couple that lived across the street when I lived in our duplex. Like this was probably last March or something,
Mhm.
or last April, and we got drunk and we were partying a bit. And they had this like Confederate soldier statue or something on some platform like across the street. And I convinced our other guitar, we got shit faced, and I convinced our other guitarist, man, it's like we really need that statue over here. So he goes over there and he picks up when he brings it back, drops it down right in the yard, right? And you know, like you have those moments where it's like the equivalent of like you're at a show, you're at a party or something like that, and you go in the bathroom and you're like taking a leak or something, and then you like start actually hearing the music, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like I'm drunk, you know? Like you have that realization, like wow, like
You need a wall.
like yeah, like I'm in this body, I'm drunk. So that was me, and I was like, no, I was like, we got to put the statue back. It's like as soon as he brought it over, it's like 100-pound statue.
Oh,
So he ends up picking it up and taking it across the street. And we go to sleep and wake up and it's Sunday. I remember it's Sunday. And I go outside and I look across the street and he didn't put the statue back. He just threw it down in their fucking yard. And I saw a camera on their house.
oh
And
shit.
I was like, we're fucked. We're done. And I think like the whole day goes by and it's just like weird weather. And I'm like, man, they're going to go to church or something. That's what they're going to do. And then they're going to see the statue, check their camera, and then, you know, shit's going to hit the fan. Um, and like overnight again, they don't leave their fucking house like at all Sunday. And then overnight, Monday, a fucking hurricane comes through or something and breaks the tree in half in their front yard right over top of the soldier. And I go outside and he's outside looking at it. And I open, like I cracked the door and I can hear him. And he's like, the damn hurricane knocked my soldier over. And I was like, yes, we did it. We did it. Wait, weather nature on your side.
That's hilarious.
Man, it was the good old days. It was the bad old days, I guess.
Hey,
So,
I'm sure a lot of you guys kind of live that rock star lifestyle. It's not just your bad, you know what I mean? It's part of the fun of like being young and being able to be a touring musician and all that good stuff.
well, I wouldn't say living a rock star life because it wasn't very extravagant. You know, it was just you get shit faced with your friends, and then one of my cats is like destroying a cardboard box.
Look, he believes in the
Um,
rock star life.
huh?
Your cat believes in the rock star life.
Yeah, he said, I don't know about you, fucking everything up around here. Um, we got to that point where I just didn't give a shit. I remember we played a show in West Virginia, and like after we played, it was like a festival. And after we played, we went back to the hotel and we were drinking, and then we went to this. It's like right next to the venue. It was like this bar, and the parking lot was huge. It was just covered in gravel. And we went there and we were just pre-gaming there because we didn't want to get kicked out of the hotel. So we're just pre-gaming there. We're post-gaming. We're doing whatever we want, you know.
Yeah.
And way across the parking lot, there's this massive truck, like a monster truck. And whoever gets in it, he's like, ooh, ooh, he's just revving it, he's flooring it, you know, and he's not going anywhere. And I guess I made the drunk comment. I was like, oh, we found the smallest dick in the parking lot. And this fucking dude, there's a truck right next to us, just as big as this one. He gets out of the truck and says, "You talking about my brother? Talking about my brother?" And I was like, "No, we found two or something, you know, it was like, there's two of them here." And our the guitarist was like trying to defuse it, because no, you heard the wrong thing. He didn't really say that. And I'm like over there drunk, like, "Fuck, I didn't. Like, that was me." It's like, your brother's got a tiny wiener because he's got a big truck or something. I don't know. That was another. We almost got in a fight. I was like, and at that point, I was like having one of those realizations. I was like, we got to get in the car and get out of here. Like, he's seriously mad about his truck.
Oh,
We gotta get out.
well, obviously it was true. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so upset about it.
Yeah, he's got you should get him on your show.
Oh my God.
He's probably got.
Tell me about your micro penis.
Yes.
What situation? I don't know.
He'd be like, "Well, yeah," and you tell him, he's like, "Well, I got a Flowmaster on the truck." It's funny you mentioned my tiny penis. The truck is lifted 10 feet.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh Lord. Okay, are there any plugs you want to do for Black Plague or possible future endeavors?
So Black Plague is on a current indefinite hiatus, unfortunately, because of certain circumstances that are going on behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. However, me and the bass player and there's some unmentioned members. We are currently writing a fucking novel of music, and hopefully should have something ready by 2021. But we'll see. Like I said, we're all in the we've all been in like the I guess the music like business, I guess, for enough time to know like how we want our sound to be, what makes like a good show, what makes a good recording, how we want our songs to sound, you know.
Yeah.
So like responsibilities, like how much money you actually have to put into it. So it's just, I guess, be on the lookout for some cool stuff, I guess, I reckon.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun talking to you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I knew you were going to be fun. I knew you'd be kind of like an enjoyable, jolly guy, but I didn't know you'd be so fucking funny. So thanks for making me laugh today.
No problem. I appreciate it. Had a good time.
Yeah. And let me go ahead and end this recording. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. And we'll see you next time.